Hey folks, this is Evan Sawyer, otherwise known as the Canyon Carver on Instagram, and today is a big day because I'm going to go pick up my first classic 911. I did have a 996, but I'm today getting a 1970 911E hot rod, and it's got a 3.2 liter short stroke, and I've known about this car for a long time, and I'm buying it from my good friend's dad. He has multiple beautiful Porsches, and today he's letting me purchase his car. That's my friend Warren. So come along for the journey and learn all about this sweet old 911.
You took the little hella things out for you too.
Nice. It looks better without the covers.
Yeah.
There she is.
When I got this car with a whale tail on it and the wrong rims and a funky plastic rear bumper that made it look updated, that was the first thing to go, because my goal was to create something that really looked sport purpose from the early 70s, late 60s. So the side graphics kind of give it that R model feel and
Yep.
look, especially being a narrow body.
And an R would harken back to the late 60s, right?
Right, 1968. Most of them were white. I think, or maybe all of them were white. And it had the side graphics and the tag, the chronograph on the side. And I just figured that was kind of my original goal. And then I was going to try to get some sport seats in it and move it down the road that way. But you get to a certain point where you're comfortable in the car and you're driving it a lot. You're taking it on the tours, and it kind of just landed here. And the more that I drove it, the more that I appreciated what it was right here and right now. So it's got plenty of power for this kind of car and weight and everything else. If you've got 275 horsepower in the back, you're good. It's got plenty of tire on it now with a 15x7s without looking too crazy, right?
How would you compare, because I'm sure you've driven and you own cars that are basically in stock configuration, how would you compare a narrow body 2.2 or versus what this thing is now, 3.2?
So the really cool thing about these cars is every different displacement is just unique. So this is a 3.2 short stroke in a narrow body car, and so it has its own place. And you can, the 74, you got the 2.7, which I have in here,
Right.
and the RSR with a 3.2 short stroke. But this being narrow and having that kind of power really gives it its own little niche.
I mean, it's basically got way more power and performance than an RS of the time, a 73 RS.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And that was the idea, is to make sure that you were going fast enough, you were handling well enough, and you were enjoying it. And then the visceral piece of it was there, especially with the EFI on there and everything that goes on with the power and the sound. That sound, I think it's the best sounding car I own or used to own, and I think it just has its own place. It really has become a car that I'm kind of proud of what I've been able to do to it, actually. It's at the here, Evan, is the lighter. I don't know where that went.
Okay, we'll find that on eBay or something.
I've got to find one of those, but so you have a rear defroster here, right?
Yep, rear defroster.
And then you've got your lights over on the other side. These are the fog lights here.
Oh, cool. You pull it out or push it or something.
Yeah, you pull it out. You got all your heater controls here. Everything works.
Nice.
You'll see that it's got a different key for the ignition than the standard. That's because I replaced the ignition key.
Got it.
and the whole mechanism there, because they go bad after a certain amount of time. You got your throttle here down on the left, so when you pull that up in the morning, this is all EFI, so you really don't have to.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But
that
it's
that
still
works.
it's still connected, and here's your heat.
So cold start, you could pull this up.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's probably a good idea to pull it up a little bit either way.
Okay. Then you put it back down after you got a little heat.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to make sure it'll stumble a little bit, but not much when you start it.
Okay.
It's pretty cold right now, so if you want to make sure it's in neutral, I can do that with my left hand.
Okay. We're in neutral.
There you go. So fire it up.
Starts right up.
It does.
Gotta love that EFI.
Even if it's been sitting for a long, long time, it really does.
And that was with this down.
Yeah. And you don't have to give it any gas or anything like that. It's not like the old ones with the
No
pumps
carbs.
or anything. Yeah. So your oil level should always be at idle, and when the car is hot, which it isn't at this stage, right around 2 o'clock.
This one?
Yeah. So somewhere between 6 and 7.
Okay, we're at 5.5 right now.
And it'll continue to come up as you drive. But if you ever see it drop when it's hot below 5, it means you're about a quart.
When you're hot below. So when it's cold, you shouldn't be measuring anything?
You shouldn't be measuring when it's cold ever.
Okay. So when the car is hot, at idle, you want this to be between 6 and 7?
Yeah. Just think 2 p.m.
2 p.m., okay.
Yeah. And this car has held its oil really, really well. A lot of the magnesium cases don't, but this is aluminum.
Right.
So it's definitely reliable that way. I'm not putting a lot of oil in this car.
Okay, good to know.
Which is kind of phenomenal for a air-cooled.
It was just rebuilt.
Yeah, it was. So I don't remember what the mileage was on the rebuild, but it's probably on that document.
I saw it. It was like 6,000 miles ago.
Oh, so it's 6,000. So
if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
Because it was like 3,000 something in.
Oh, okay. So it's only got 6. So it's basically just barely going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what does this light mean?
That's your brake.
Oh, okay. Parking
it's
brake.
also an oil light.
So if something's going terribly wrong, that'll light up.
Neutral. Take the brake off. It should disappear.
Okay.
So that's your emergency brake. And it's a good idea to look at that, because sometimes it can be just barely on. So I'm always making sure that
the first time I drove this car, that happened.
Yeah.
Whoops.
It happened all the time in the IROC when I first got it, because it hadn't been sorted.
All right, let's talk about the most important thing here, and that's temps.
Yeah. So when it gets to 210,
yeah,
you're okay. When it gets between 210 and 250, right in that zone, you're not okay.
All right.
So it's a delicate game you have to play in this car, but it's a real one, because if you get up to 235 or 40 in temperature, you're potentially doing engine damage. So, but if you're just over 210, you're going to be fine. The optimal, when I talk to Dave or anybody else, 210 is just fine in a car like this, because the oil's not going to break down until about 240. This is the packet with everything in it, accumulated over the last roughly 10 years. So I've got a COA that's got all the engine number. It's got the VIN, of course, on it and all the rest. They don't do this way anymore, but this gives you an opportunity, if you can, to track down
the engine,
which I think is still available somewhere here
That's
in California.
amazing.
This is the tag that was removed. It actually hasn't been re-stamped with the VIN and whatnot, but this is a replacement piece after the car had gone through a little bit of a theft recovery issue. This is what the
West End alignment, nice.
Yeah, and
they're
also,
the best.
Yeah, and also the weighing of the car, all the rest of that, the balance.
2290.
So this is, you get a chance to kind of see exactly how the car is laid out, right? Yeah, with me in it, that changes very much.
I'm jealous you're closer to West End. I've always wanted to use them, but it's just a mission.
So this side is dyno, and this is what I was referencing before, is that we're somewhere north of 200, probably 210, 215. So that's at the wheel, of course. And so if you add 25-30%.
Wait,
one.
really? So it dynoed at over 220.
At the so you're right around somewhere between 200 and 225. It looks
Oh,
like.
okay. Yeah, and you thought maybe for a while it was like 280 or something.
I did. Well, it'll be somewhere north of 250
Crank.
at the crank.
Right.
So I think maybe even close. I think the rule is 30%. If that's the case,
Right.
You're somewhere around 270. Here's the title, of course, which we'll end up having to do some stuff on. There's some back registrations. Here are all the registrations from prior owners.
Oh, that's cool.
Those were all kept too. So you have, this is the last owner that I purchased the car from. I think it was somewhere in 2016 or 17.
Do you have any idea how many owners there are?
I believe I counted 5.
Okay.
It's possible that there would be more than that if it was traded before that, but this ownership goes all the way back to the 1990s.
Wow.
Yeah. So it goes back quite a bit.
What was that you're holding? The 2.2. That's
This is the owner's manual that is for a 911S, ironically.
Oh, interesting.
It's got some valve timing information in here as well. I don't know. It's a 911E, not an S, but it came with an S book.
Cool.
Has a lot of S options, which you can see the gauges are S gauges, and the trim on the outside is all 911S, and the of course the oil cooling system.
Right.
Which I think I told you.
And did it have like a bigger gas tank, this car? Do you know?
No. I think it has a standard size tank.
Okay.
Yeah. But normally the 911Es or the 911Ss would come with aluminum deck lids. That original deck lid is gone. I think this one probably did have an original aluminum
Gotcha.
lid if it had all the other S equipment. Most recently, the service records from McKellows, TRE back when I was up in LA.
Yep.
And then European Motorsports, this is the engine build, which
Yep.
has all the specifics there, which is really good to have. This is some of the paint, repairs and whatnot up at Sport. Eddie Palmer does a great job. This is the interior work that was done on the car. It was completely redone at Autobahn down in San Diego here. Tony
Yeah, it looks
Garcia
great.
is like top of the food chain. When it
The
comes
seats that are in the car now, were those original to the car? Or?
Those are original to
Wow.
the car from a perspective of they're correct. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actual
I
original,
understand.
but they're the correct original seats.
So the car was not spec'd with sport seats.
No,
It was spec'd with
no,
these
it
seats.
was not.
Yeah.
No, that would have been on the COA. It was standard. This is just some tire. A little bit of original bodywork, touch-up stuff when I was
How old are the tires on the car?
I don't recall, but this says, where's the date on here? It looks like I think the
They're the
ones that were on there are
Pirellis.
actually more recent even than these. These
Okay.
are the ones that were on the 6-inch rims.
Got it.
So, yeah, that's pretty much everything that's in there, but it's a lot. Couple of decals just for the
Sweet.
heck of it. So, anyway, we can start in the front here. Probably a good thing. So this was all kind of cleaned up a little bit, but you can still see the remnants of its former life. It does have a strut bar,
I didn't realize that. That's cool.
and that helps a little bit. We've got an original 15.6 Hart wheel.
Yep.
This came with the car. It's date coded with the car. Ironically, even though the car was stolen, a lot of the original wheels were available. So this is where that one tag will go that I
Right.
showed you.
Okay.
They put a block there. But you can see this car does not have, and you can see it down in the trunk too, does not have any rust in here. It does have a jack and the wrench in here to be able to do what you need to do if you need to change a tire. These are pretty light, as you can see.
Yeah.
So I also have 2 quarts of oil in here for you.
Sweet. I knew that was going to come up.
2050.
2050.
This is where they hacked right here.
I can see that.
The CH.
And when was this?
I don't
done?
know. I think it was done in the 1980s.
So it was stolen at some point in the 80s.
40 or 50 years, and they reissued the same VIN because they were able to verify it.
And that's because where is that other
I'll
one?
show you. It's pretty funny. So, not all thieves have a high intelligence level. They left this emission sticker on, which actually has the VIN in it.
Oh, no kidding.
That's the original VIN, and you can even see the silver paint underneath this.
Yep. So this car was originally a metallic silver.
Metallic silver car, yep.
Yep.
And the prior owner that I got it from had done some work on it, or the prior owner to him had done some work on it. It had a whale tail when I bought it.
Right.
It didn't have the graphics on it. I put those on. I put the 15x7s on.
But the Heuer sticker
Yeah, I put that on.
needs a little stopwatch in the car, and then you.
Yeah, I was working on trying to get one of those.
They're getting
the
expensive,
rallies,
aren't
yeah.
they?
But everything else is very original body-wise. I mean, you can see the lines. You can see when you drive the car and you're looking down the fender lines. It doesn't look like the car was ever in a wreck.
There are a few little dents here and there, but you know.
Yeah, well, and obviously it's been repainted, so I don't really know what's underneath that because I never had it.
Right.
But the interior, like I said, was done at Autobahn down in San Diego. Tony Garcia and his team did a great job with that. They removed the rear seats and kind of went with that ST interior, including the RS door panels.
Well, let's see the goods.
But
Here's
this
the good
is-
stuff.
This is really the crux of it all.
Like any air-cooled 911, this is.
The car came with a 3.2 case with a 78, I think, CIS system on the top of it.
Yep.
So I changed that out. It has a Resont intake on it. I had to go with the velocity stacks just because of the air of the car. Andrew Darrett put that all together. He owned Resont at the time. He also put the green 911 engine cover on to match up with what the original 911Es had. They were green, the T's were red, and or the S's were red, and the T's were yellow, I think is what it was. So it's the correct color for the engine top there. This car, I mean, like I said, it's producing somewhere around 250 to 275 horsepower, I think. It's
Plenty for a 2,200 pound car, that's for sure.
Yeah, it has a M&K exhaust system on it, which I think sounds great. It's 2-into-1 and it's a street version, but
Yeah.
it's just
So it's got the one exit,
yeah.
and I know you said it runs on Motec. Is the ECU is on the side
The
in there
ECU
somewhere?
is in the back.
Oh, it's in the back.
In the
Interesting.
back behind the seat.
Cool.
So when you pull the seats out, you'll see it.
Somewhere back there.
Yeah, it's behind the driver's seat.
Take a little look at the interior. It's beautiful. Well, it's an absolute beauty. We'll take good care of it here.
Take good care of it, Evan.
Yes.
I'll come kill you. I've been, behind RSRs and all sorts of other stuff, and this will keep up with just about everything. So I'm glad you have it.
Thank you so much, man. Well, and I'm so excited
Now I get to follow it.
Of
And
course.
I know you're going to
I
drive
will
it
have
more
all
than
sorts
I've been
of
driving it, so there's benefits to me to.
But also think of all the cool road trips we get to do
That's
together.
the other part of it. Well, now we got both of you guys have an air-cooled car, so it's all good.
Now I don't have to borrow one of your cars. Now I,
Yeah, you got.
I break it.
You break it.
It's my problem.
You own it. You broke it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you're. I was
I'm
gonna
mechanically sympathetic to old cars.
I was going
I'm-
to take off my company sticker off the side of it before you got it, but you
Oh, I think you should leave it.
Stretch Digital Racing.
Leave
I
it.
remember when Warren first saw it.
I think
he's like,
stickers like tell a story. I'm all about it. Whatever.